Hello everybody, this is Lee Phillips, Journey of Truth. We are here at the City Council workshop session. Today is Monday, February the 9th. It is 6:20 and we are signing on early here because we don't want to miss anything that's going to happen before or after. So y'all sit tight. We're going to see what all comes about in this meeting.
I was going to say, if she says it's not, I'm just going to open them up and give everybody. Did you get those towels?
Seems like springtime. He's still wearing his jacket.
Like I said, I think I did a because Brandon called this guy. It's a role. It's a 25. So it's
All right, everybody, I'd like to welcome you all to the City Council work session on February 9th. We're getting started at, I believe 1 minute late, that's my bad, 6:31. And let me get out the agenda. All right, for the call to order, we do the roll call. Everybody is here tonight, correct? Yes? All right, and now for the approval of the agenda. Is there anything anybody would like to add or modify on this before we adopt it? I don't hear of any. Can I get a motion to accept the agenda?
So move.
I got a motion by Keith. Any second? Second by Lisa. Sorry, buddy. Lisa's a little quicker today. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, it is approved. Up first is the Planning and Development Committee report. Lisa, you're on.
Okay, well, Robbie's coming up to the podium. He's gonna talk to us about TP, UDC. Just want to remind everybody, we've got 4 openings for Planning and Zoning Commission, and we've got 3 applicants, and the dates for the application to be open, it closes on the 27th of this month. So if y'all know anybody, we need some more applicants.
Okay.
And more importantly, if there's anybody here that wants to apply, there's an application back there as well. So yes, last week we kicked off the Build Better Loganville zoning ordinance update. We had a great kickoff meeting. I thought it went fairly well. Since then, on Friday, the Build Better Loganville website has gone live. It has general information on there about the project. Obviously, when we get more sustenance to this, some more meat on the bone to our project, we'll be able to update it more. But it does have a section where residents can ask questions about the project or anything in general. And then it also has information about the Code Palooza, which is what we're getting ready to discuss. So one of the biggest things that myself and the council and I think all city officials have determined is that the most important part of the code rewrite is to have our public involved. This is it. This is the best option for people to get involved. It is going to be February 23rd through 26th. The 23rd is kind of a kickoff meeting. It's an opening presentation, and then it's a hands-on workshop. So this is one of those the first efforts for residents to come in here, be in attendance. They'll have some maps on the city, and they'll give you some criteria, tell us what you like, what you don't like, and that's how we're going to kick it off. And that will be broadcast via our YouTube channel. But obviously, if you want to participate, we need you here. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday, the Rock Gym will be open to the public for people just to come in, drop in. If you can't make it Monday night, try to make it sometime Tuesday or Wednesday. The Rock Gym will be open, at which point you can come in, do some discussions with the consultants, give us your opinions, feedback on everything that we're doing. There will also be breakout sessions for this during the Code Palooza that will have specific topics. That will be on February 24th from 12 to 1. We will be discussing neighborhood housing and neighborhood character. And then later that same date, on the 24th from 6 to 7, the discussion will be about infill and redevelopment. And then on Wednesday, the 25th, the breakout session will be from 12 to 1, and that one is about streetscapes and walkability. And again, the Rock Gym will be open from 9 a.m. to noon on Thursday, and then at the work session, then there will be a closing presentation at 6:30 p.m. on the 26th, where the consultants will produce some preliminary information about about what the feedback from the community was. So that's really kind of the update of where we're at. I think it's also probably important to highlight the fact that this is a code rewrite. So this is going to apply to everything in the city. We're not just worried about downtown. This is going to be for the entire city. It is going to be updating our current code with the goal of plugging in some different options for us to move forward with as far as the infill in our city goes. So I don't think we're getting down to the architectural standards and colors or anything like that. This may be a little bit more at a macro level than the micro level, at least at this point. So I just did kind of want to put that information out there and obviously encourage everybody to show up.
When do the people that we each selected, when do they come into play? The citizens we selected?
When I spoke with the consultants last week, I will be sending out information to them, to the stakeholders about it. But basically, they need to make sure they show up to one of these meetings to take part in the Code Palooza, and then there'll be some responsibilities following up after that.
Okay, thank you.
Robbie, so the fine print down there, so they have these sessions that you talked about at lunch and at 6 to 7 p.m., but down at the bottom it says they're from 9 to 7, they'll be there all day. So
Yes,
people can just drop, even if you can't make it for those sessions, you can still drop in and talk to them, that type of thing?
That is correct. It will be open. They have I believe all three of them will be there for people to drop in. There'll be different stations for people to do some of the different tasks that they're looking for to try to get that, to kind of draw that feedback out and maybe focus it a little bit. So.
And let me just add to what Robbie said, just for the public, you know, that opening session is going to be sort of your biggest primary public engagement work session, and then those open, what do they call them? Open studio days. But that first opening night, they literally take you through some amazing processes of, you know, what do you want your town to look like. So this is very much the opportunity for the public, not just the city council, not just the planning commission, but for the public to get engaged in what do you want your town to look like. And there's processes that they take you through that help get to that end result. And on that Thursday night presentation, just to reiterate, that is a rough draft of sort of their findings. That is not, oh, here's what we're doing. They take all that they develop through those 3 or 4 days, and then they start drafting codes. And then once they get the code drafted, then it comes back to staff for review and edit and input, then it comes back to y'all, and then it comes back to the public, you know, sort of later, I guess, later in the summer, early fall. So it's a very scheduled process, and this week of Code Palooza is the most important time for the public to provide input as to what they want to see and don't want to see in terms of how their code, their zoning ordinance shapes their community.
Quick question for you, if you don't mind. With this not really being codified or whatever till later in the summer, how does this affect the moratorium? Or does it?
Your moratorium is in effect, which will be coming before you next month for renewal, if you so choose, and we would strongly suggest that you do. But your moratorium is in effect to allow this process to take place. So basically, your moratorium will be coming up. We'll bring you a moratorium extension ordinance next month for you to extend it out again. And then, you know, hopefully that next extension, 6 months, will be close in time to when you're adopting this new code. You may need to look at another extension, which is no big deal in terms of the law. A lot of communities may have 2 to 3 year moratoriums to either address codes or address infrastructure problems and the like. So your moratorium is there to give y'all time to get this right. So you're not in a rush, but you want to keep it moving on the path, and staff and the consultants have done a real good job, and y'all have pushed forward too, a real good job of giving you a timeline to where essentially 2026 calendar year, more or less, will get this done from start to finish.
Robbie, let me confirm something I think I heard you say. We're not gonna get into design or art standards?
Not this early in the process. I mean, obviously, when we go through Codepalooza and people start expressing what they like and what they don't like, it may be refined more then on the back end, but at the beginning, it's gonna be at a macro level of more,
Okay.
what do you like, what don't you like? And then,
That makes sense, but we're not gonna ignore it altogether. I mean, it'll be part of the code rewrite ultimately.
that is my understanding,
Okay.
yes.
Yes.
I'm not 100%
Yes,
sure.
okay, thank you, Paul. I just wanted to make sure, because that was important to me.
But to clarify that is important, yes, if y'all so choose, right?
Yes, I think we choose.
I
Right.
think we choose.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know, it's important, like, the code
That's the
is
big driver
whatever
behind
four of
this.
y'all agree for it to be, based upon what your staff tells you, what your consultants tell you, what you hear from the public input. And so, the general concept, I would think, would be to add enhanced aesthetic controls, design standards, and those, and that'll absolutely come out of this process.
Okay.
I think maybe the question stems from sort of the initial meeting of sort of how detailed. Let me set everybody's mind at ease. Georgia law is actually explicitly clear. You cannot regulate paint colors. Period, end of story, you can't. But other design aesthetic standards like, you know, what the soffit looks like or what the front door looks like, those can be part of this. How granular that is up to y'all, right? So strongly encourage you in that Codepalooza to provide input, you know, on, we want to see it down to this level, or we don't want to see it, and everybody's beliefs are different.
When we go down to the level that we don't wanna see a development, being built that there's a ditch on the outside of the neighborhood and you can't, I mean, I'd like to see the ditches go away. Can we get down to that kind of detail?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, some of those are going to be, you know, I don't know how much they're looking at the development regs, because your development regs also control some of those sort of stormwater functions and that sort of thing. So, but yes, some of that granular absolutely can be addressed. I mean, if there's biggies that are important to y'all yell about it, okay?
And even the level of, say, I guess we don't require subdivisions to have a sign at the beginning of their subdivision, saying that this is the name of their subdivision. And we don't have anything that says once you fill out the permit, you've got X amount of days to build that sign and finish it. That sign can just sit there under construction forever if it wants to. So we can go down to those kind of details and make changes with that.
Sure.
Okay.
We just have to remember all of it, Lisa.
Well, and I will just express a little bit of caution. I do understand that we want to have greater control, but also with greater control comes greater limitations. So it's a balancing act between what we want and what we need. So that's just the biggest thing is just to make sure that the more restrictions and the more stuff we put out there, the harder it is to build in the city. So it's just my 2 cents worth, just make sure we're balancing ultimate goals with a little dose of reality.
All right.
I think that's all we have.
All right, thank you, Lisa and Robbie. Up next is Finance Committee report. Keith?
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing we have on the agenda tonight is about the fiscal year 2026 audit engagement with McNair, McLemore, Middlebrooks and Company. They've got us a total price of $59,500, with $34,000 of that coming out of budget line item 100-1510 521-203, which is the general fund. And then the second part of it, the $25,500, comes out of 505-4400-52 521-203, which is the water. The reason to split up between these two is because they're both involved and they both are going to be audited. So that's why the total is being split up out of these two areas. Any questions?
I believe they're coming Thursday night to
Present.
present. So they'll be here Thursday, we can ask them questions directly when they come here. Any other questions from council or?
Yeah, may I get a hard copy of what they're gonna bring Thursday before Thursday? Thank you. You can just let me know. I can't read it on my little phone, it drives me crazy. Oh, you've already got it, Brandon.
Yeah, I believe, are they?
Is it out in mail drop?
Oh, they're not?
No, I was waiting on it if they were requesting it.
No. Thank you.
But I asked for one too for this, so.
That
this
phone right
already
here.
is on the phone as well.
Yeah, thanks. And a question, how long have we been using this CPA firm?
If you choose to go with them for 2026, it'll be the third year.
Oh, okay, I thought it was longer than that, okay.
No, it was a prior firm before that, and they dissolved. And so we went with who Ken, the
Nova.
CBA, recommended.
Is it the same CPAs that switched over?
One of them is, but the lead auditor is not. He's
Okay.
new.
Okay. That just makes a difference to me, because at some point it becomes a little too cozy, a little too, they get to know each other a little bit too much, and I think we need to switch every now and again, but it's not soon enough yet. Thank you.
This is the only thing we have from the finance. I think since they're gonna be here Thursday, we need to hold off on consent.
Yep. We'll hold off for Thursday, definitely.
Okay,
Thank
you.
No problem. Thank you, Keith. Up next is public safety. You got anything, Melanie?
I'll have a report on Thursday. I thought we were gonna be doing a lot of discussion tonight. We have executive session, I think, so I was gonna wait and just do something Thursday.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem. Good deal. Well, thank you, Melanie. Up next is Public Utilities Committee. That'd be Bill.
Sure, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, the city is requesting a purchase of a polymer feed system. It's to replace one that has failed. There's two of them. One of them is inoperable. It's Erickson. They went to 3 bids. They've chosen the Erickson to replace what's there. It's at $17,375. This polymer is added in order to into the thicken the sludge, so it makes it where they can get out those fine particles that they want to get out of the water. Right now, without that, they don't have a fail system to back up. So, anyway, any questions on the system?
That's all they got, 3 quotes, and they went with.
Yeah, and that's the same one that they have. They're the city's used to working with it. It's a plug and play kind of thing too as well. So they'll be able to just pull it out and put the other one back in and get it operational.
Awesome. Any more questions? Council?
I'd like to put that on consent.
Everybody okay with consent? Alright.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Bill. Now we have Facilities Committee report. Do you have anything tonight for us, Wes?
We don't have anything on the agenda at this point. I think Danny was checking on some lighting around the building, it's still in the works. We should be able to get that resolved hopefully by next month.
Awesome.
It's George Powers, their light is bulb, their light's not working, so I don't know how long it'll take them, but that's just notified them.
Okay. When do you think we could have that?
They don't
Probably
give us
2
a timeline.
months, but they-
But hopefully it'll be a month.
It's getting real, probably 2 months.
Well, what about the lights that I asked about for the people tripping over the thing? Is that the light you're talking about?
Yeah, there's a light in the parking lot that shines against the building, and plus there's all the lights under the canopy that are all working.
Okay,
So he's gonna get that light fixed and see if we need to do another one. So
Okay,
we don't
thank you.
keep dumping light on other people's property.
Thanks.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much. Up next, Transportation Committee. Bill?
I don't have anything else, transportation tonight.
Good deal. Appreciate it, Bill, keeping the meeting short tonight. Next is the City Manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. You, the Mayor and Council, for you is the purchase of a 4-stall restroom for concerts and events. There is several quotes. Fleet looked at these quotes and they decided what they thought would be the best one, and that's for you tonight. This is a budget item. We budgeted $50,000, but it's a little over, so it's $51,590. And that is for one 4-stall restroom that we will own. We will still have to rent occasionally on large events like 4th of July or Autumn Fest, but for the most events, a 4-stall is what we currently use.
And every time we rent, it's close to 12,000, so buying one at about 50,000.
No, they're 13. It's in the fact, we spent probably half of this in the last 2 years.
Exactly. So it
Yeah,
just
it's
makes
about
sense.
$1,400, I think, to
how
rent.
much questions does we have?
So it just makes sense to us. Alright. Any questions from council?
Sure, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So my big concern with something like this is, I mean, I think it's certainly, we've talked about this for a long time and it's necessary, but is, somebody's gotta maintain it, somebody's gotta take ownership of it, cause it's, you know, not only is it expensive equipment, but it's also hygienic and whatever. So what's the thought process and how you're gonna maintain and keep it running throughout an events and?
So it'll be utility, Public Works, Jeremy will be responsible for getting it and setting it up. As far as cleaning it, it will be dumped or pumped from the utilities department. More than likely, we'll go to a manhole, pop the manhole and dump it and clean it out of there. The current system, I believe they use a vac truck to pump it out. We do have a vac truck if we have to, but more likely we'll just go down the sewer where it's located at. Or we can dump it at the plant, either or.
I'm sorry, one follow-up, but then after an event, it's gotta be, you've gotta
It'll
get,
be stored at public utilities or public works.
sure, and they get training on this, or is it that difficult?
It's pretty simple, yeah, but yeah, they will get some training. It's just if anybody's at an RV, it's one valve you pull with the dump, and then you hook a water hose to wash the black tank out, and you use another water hose to fill up the, which you use to wash your hands, and then both those dump into a black tank.
Will we have, accessibility to the new library once it's
Yes.
built to help out with some of this expense?
Yes.
Okay, good deal.
How many restrooms are in the library?
I have to look at the plans, I'm not sure.
It was either 4 or 6, I can't remember.
I can't remember the exact number of stalls off the top of my head. I know there's a men's and a women's and they're fairly large. And there's also a family bathroom as well for nursing mothers, stuff like that as well, so.
I kinda got the impression once the library was built that it was just a wonderful thing that we were gonna be able to use their restrooms. So why are we now buying an additional, whatever you call these things, at 50-some thousand?
Because of the amount of people we have at these events. Just like they use the health department now, they use that on events, but, y'all see the 4,000 people that come, and one bathroom can get overcrowded, so for some reason we use the trailers now. But most people don't wanna walk from Town Green to the library to use the bathroom, so we put one on Town Green, that's where it'll be during concerts. And then we stage them out through like Autumn Fest, she'll have some staged out. Usually I think she has them here in front of the Rock Gym. Isn't that all right, Chrissy? Yeah. And plus they use the, one on both sides of the city.
But the library will still be open for use.
Sure, we have a key card to that facility, that's why they put the bathrooms where you can go into the bathroom but not the library.
The ones we've been renting, are they 4 stalls? It's the same amount?
Some are 4, some are 10. We do get 10 on 2 events, 10 stalls, but most of them are 4-stall, correct, Chris? Same thing with the fair, we use it for the fair as well.
And has that been a problem in the past as far as people having to stand in line
Yes.
and all that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, it's used at the Independence Day celebration, that's not over here near where the library is gonna be. So, it's good to have the mobility in case we have events other places.
I don't have a problem with it necessarily, I just think I have a problem with the way it was communicated with the library issue. I mean, it was just,
Yeah, it'll still be used, the library will be used once it's.
Yeah, just to be clear, your library agreement does call for that shared use for the public
right,
events.
yeah.
So it's in there and it's double keyed to where, you'll have access to the libraries, to the library restrooms when the library's closed, but the events are going on.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'm with you, Patty. That was when I saw it, I thought that was one of the main selling points
It
of the
was.
library. Oh, so
It
we'll have
was.
bathrooms. I get it, but, they're
It
need to
was.
rent some bathrooms too.
Just another
Um,
little,
Okay, I'm with you. I know you said it'd be stored over at the fleet department. Is it gonna be out of the weather? Because that's fiberglass, it's gonna turn
Yeah.
black, it's gonna get nasty
I mean,
looking.
There's no room for it right now under, we could build one if that's what y'all request,
Well, that's what I'm just saying, because I wanted to make sure we're looking at all the expense of what this is gonna cost. And what was the main reason that we selected, the company that we selected to buy from? Is that when we rent them, are we buying the brand that we rent?
I don't know if we are or not, mainly it was the layout and the holding tank was larger. I believe that was his factor that he factored.
And is there a warranty on this? And what's
There
its
is a-
life expectancy?
There is, it's a 2-year warranty on it.
And what's the life expectancy of this trailer? Because what I'm saying
I
is,
don't know.
I know, we're paying $54 or something thousand. We rent them when we need them. We're not maintaining it, we're not storing it. We're not doing the upkeep on it. We're getting a new one every time that's updated. I mean, with this, if we expect this to last 10 years, 10 years from now, it's outdated, it's falling apart. I'm just looking at really how cost effective it is.
If the council wants us to keep renting, we'd be more than happy to rent, because it is easier, but, you know, we've already spent, I think, what'd she say? We spent 25,000 last 2 years on renting them.
Right.
So that's just gonna get more and more if we have to go to a bigger stall, but
I don't know, and it's just,
I
but
think the
it's,
life expectancy is a good question though, because
But I wanna know, I mean-
if it's 2 years,
I mean, I can't tell you because I don't know how it's gonna be.
I mean, when they
kept.
told us a new city hall building only has a 25-year life expectancy, I think a porta potty
I
thing
think
is
that's,
very
I
low.
think that's a good question.
And-
Could we get that information maybe from the company?
I will call him and see if he can tell me, but it's a lot of factors that will matter.
That makes
I know.
sense, but.
Christie will call them tomorrow morning.
I just wanna make sure we're spending the taxpayers' dollars wisely, especially, cause when we do have the concerts, I know the one we rent usually is a 4-stall, but when the library comes online, I've already looked at the blueprints, I believe there's either 4 or 6, so there's either 2 women, 2 men's, and then the 2, like you said, the family ones. So there's your bathrooms right there. So I'm just making sure we're spending our money wisely, and, because if we're renting, we're gonna have to, sit there telling me we're gonna still have to rent a 10-stall for other events. You know, now we're gonna be coming back in here in the summer and go, okay, well, we spent $57,000, but we need to rent another.
You will rent another 10 stall, I will tell you that right
Okay.
now. Because there's no bathrooms at West Walton Park, except for 2.
Right.
And we had flooding issues because the system can't handle just two bathrooms. So you definitely, no illusion about it, you will have another bathroom rental for fireworks, unless we don't do fireworks. Or move it somewhere else, but you can't move it downtown because too many houses.
The ones we rent are very nice.
Yes.
I can see very easily how after a season or 2, you're gonna have to go in and do a major overhaul.
Good deal.
Is the 10 stall included in that money figure that you gave us?
Yes, I believe so.
So,
It is.
You talking about the rental figure?
yeah,
Yeah.
I
so,
think the 10 stalls, I wanna say 3,500. Does that sound correct, Chris?
Just right at like 3,000, you have to pay a delivery fee.
so if we have to rent that anyway, we kinda need to factor that in when you're talking about the cost. And the
Chris?
maintenance, I don't know about maintenance on it.
Chrissy, would you mind coming up to the mic real quick? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you about there. You said something about the 10 stall is how much roundabout?
To rent the 4-stall, it's like $1,600 every time you rent it, and then you have to pay a delivery fee, which is $100. And I want to say the 10-stall is right at 3,000, but even that's with the delivery fee. So, and we do rent the 10-stall normally for the carnival and for Independence Celebration. But all the other events, we rent the 4-stall, and we store it over out in front of the health department. And usually there is a line at this 4-stall and a line out at the health department as well. So I feel like we definitely need, if we can't purchase one, we're definitely gonna have to keep renting one.
Yeah, okay,
But I will call tomorrow and get the life expectancy.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Any more questions on that? All right, I guess we'll see how it turns out Thursday. Danny?
The other item is an item that was asked to be put on the agenda for the DD liaison, so I'll turn that over to the council.
I think the confusion might have been settled. Tara's sitting back here, so she can certainly interject anytime she wants to, but I think they decided they didn't want a liaison at all. Is that still the case, Tara?
Yeah. Tara, would you mind coming up here? The DDA requested a liaison back when they were first formed. And I was, they're getting their feet wet, stuff like that. So when they asked for a liaison, we voted on it. And so now they don't feel like they need a liaison, from my understanding, because they come to a lot of the council meetings, we go to a lot of the DDA meetings. Everything's online now, so we really don't need that position anymore.
As a liaison, frankly, you just sit there, and if they have a question, you answer it. Like, you don't want to interject too much in these meetings as a liaison, because it's just your personal feelings on it. It's not the full council's decision on it. So, we're more than welcome to keep coming to the meetings if they're asking us to, if we're gonna show up or whatnot. But I also believe we don't need a liaison position
I'm fine
anymore,
with it.
unless
I've
they
been-
ever request a liaison or a member or something.
Yeah, I have no problem with it. I just wanted to confirm that was still the case, that y'all didn't want one. Now, I do have a question. Does council need to vote on the fact that they don't want one to make sure we stay in the voting arena for the next time it happens, and the next DDA, and the next chairman, and all that kind of stuff? Am I making sense, Paul?
You are.
Okay.
If you'd like to, you certainly can. I mean, I think it's pretty clear, I think I've heard that nobody wants to do the liaison anymore, but if you want to formalize it with a motion, go right ahead.
I think we should, just to maintain our.
Formalize it. All right, we'll call for a vote. Do you have anything else to add before we? Okay, we got it.
Yeah, no, we wanna go with no liaison. Now, we didn't decide that on our own because we know we can't decide that on our own. So when we were asked our opinion, I passed the email on and they did decide that. However, Brandon, Melanie are very involved in the DDA and we appreciate that. We do have a good relationship with both of them. I can get them both on the phone within an hour. Danny also, so this isn't all of us saying like, hey, we want all three of them to continue to be there because we really need them and they really help to see the transition, and we're just about to get started on the good stuff, so we don't want to lose traction on that. So we didn't bring up the liaison conversation, but if you asked our opinion. we
Yeah,
don't think we need
I did, because I wanted y'all to have what you wanted, you know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I do have a question that's kind of been in my, not for you, Tara. Thank you, Tara. It's been on my mind. Paul, that's your name, it's not Tom. When council goes, you know, members go and they offer their opinions on one thing or another thing, and then if it should come before a vote on council, is that a conflict?
I'm sorry, I do not understand the question. If
Well-
council goes and offers their opinions on one thing or another, and then that comes before the council, is that a conflict?
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't have enough clarity to that question to be able to.
Well, let's say they were talking about 254, because
Who's
they
they?
thought,
Hang
they
on.
being DDA.
Okay, all right, sorry,
And
go ahead.
then they look out into the audience, because it's, you know, usually Melanie and Brandon are there, and they ask, well, what do y'all think, or what should we do, what, you know, is that too much money? Whatever questions they may ask that ultimately would come before council for a vote. I don't know, that's just projection. Would that be a conflict if they're advising on the topic at the DDA meeting, and then the topic comes before council? Is that a conflict?
A conflict of interest?
Yes.
No, I don't believe so.
That's been sworn.
One member of this body speaks not for the whole body, doesn't mean they can't share their own specific opinion as to their, you know, one particular view or their intended vote.
Okay.
But no, there's no conflict of interest just because they're providing input on an issue, with the caveat that one member of this body speaks not for the whole. It requires four of you to speak
Okay.
on matters that
That's
require
it.
official action. I
It's
guess
just
is
been
the-
swirling. Thank you.
Do you want to go ahead and make a motion tonight, or you all want to wait till Thursday to vote on the DDA liaison? I'm fine with that. Do it tonight? Everybody good with that? You want to make a motion, Patty?
What do I say? I want to make a motion that we, accept the fact that we're not gonna have a liaison, for the DDA. Or,
Does that work, Paul? All right. Second by Lisa. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right. There we go. And then Danny, it's still on you.
Yep, so Chrissy just sent me a thing saying that the life expectancy of a portable restroom trailer is 5 to 10 years with, well-maintained units can last 12 to 15 years.
okay, that's good.
There's that little tidbit of information. The other thing I have for you is it's in the packet, Walton County Elections request to use the Rock Gym for elections. Should be a simple discussion. I think we all agreed when we moved to Walton County that y'all wanted the Rock Gym still be a polling place, so this is the contract say that Walton County can use the building, and they have the dates. Of course, this is not inclusive of any special call election, but the dates of the primaries: May 19th, 2026, runoff primary, June 16th, 2026, general election, special election, November 3rd, 2026, runoff for general special election, December 1st, 2026. So those days definitely the Rock Gym could not be rented, so it is use of a city facility, so just put it on the agenda for y'all's formal adoption.
All right, thank you. Any questions, concerns? Is this able to be put on consent, Paul? Are y'all okay with consent on this? Sure. All right, consent it is.
And the only thing I will say is under back to the DDA, we do have applications open for the DDA as well. We do. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Now, Paul, city attorney updates.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I hit the one item that's up for discussion, we do have an executive session. I apologize. I'll try and keep it as quick and brief as I can, but nobody go anywhere afterwards. But what you have before you tonight for discussion is this issue that came before you last month, and that is a charter change to your candidate eligibility requirements to comply with Georgia law. And then what came out of that was also, what about the age issue? So I sent y'all a detailed email. The short answer is as to residency requirement, the maximum is 1 year, but it can be less if you so choose. As to the age requirement, the maximum is 21 years old, but it can be less if you so choose. As you currently sit, your age requirement is less as to council members, 18, but 21 as to mayor. So before we go through the process of initiating a home rule charter change, I want to hear from y'all, or from a consensus majority of y'all, what y'all want to do. Then we'll have to prepare that, have to get it advertised properly, get the timing right, and then bring it back before you. And you actually have to adopt charter changes by home rule at 2 consecutive regular meetings. So for instance, if you told me what to do tonight and the timing were just right for me to get the ads right, then you would do it in March, April. If those dates didn't work, you would do it in April, May. Again, you don't have an election until 2027, so you've got a minute or two, but it was just a cleanup thing that we were getting taken care of for you, and I need to know what you guys want us to do. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I'm good with, we gotta keep it with the 1 year, because that's state law, and we have to go by state law, but I think raising the age to both candidate for city council and mayor to 21, I think is a good move.
Melanie, did you?
I think Lisa had. I was gonna let y'all ask all y'all's questions.
Oh,
and
I
then
was gonna
I
ask
can
you.
bring up the rear.
Okay, well, I was just gonna see if you had anything.
I just want to make sure I understand this right. So no matter what we vote, the state law is going to override. So I don't understand why it even has to come before council when we don't really have.
So that, well, I don't think I realized this in particular, but at one prior qualification, you had a candidate challenge you. And so your city attorney had to address the issue. I mean, I can't think of, off the top of my head, a logical reason why you would want to have your charter be in direct conflict with state law, because it would be ultra vires at that point, it just wouldn't be enforceable. I can think of potential ways where it could create a problem for you that I just would not suggest that you engage in it. Basically, it used to be a 2-year residency max requirement, and then many, many years ago, I think in the late 90s or early 2000s, they lowered it to 1 year. Your charter just never got changed to comply with Georgia law. That's the reason why it's sitting there. But your charter, as it relates to the 2-year residency requirement, simply is not complying with Georgia law. Georgia law is going to trump your charter. And it is our advice and opinion that you should change it to comply with Georgia law. I don't think there's any logical or valid reason to not.
So yes, I did spend hours and hours And, I mean, Paul's not wrong, okay, that the state does trump our city. At the end of the day, I'm gonna vote my convictions, because I believe that our Gold Dome did the entire state a disservice when they allowed people to move in and run for office and only having lived here for a year. And there is no, it's all fast and loose. You sit there, I sit there for hours and I go through muni code. Everybody's charter. A lot, not everybody, but a lot of people's charter. There's 4 years, there's 2 years, there's this, there's that, there's this age. Some people have 25 years old to run. Okay, so there is nothing. Matter of fact, I even found an article and he's talking about getting challenged. And you will get challenged and go, okay, yeah, sure, run. City of Atlanta right now, October 2025, they got challenged. This is what the City of Atlanta's attorney said, and I'm gonna quote from this article. Atlanta City Attorney Patrice Perkins Hooker stressed that candidates for district seats must live in the district for over a year before attempting to run for office. That's the City of Atlanta. That's the largest municipality in the state. I talked to everybody. I've talked to everybody. Our Secretary of State, he's in a huge mess right now with election fraud. I think there's gonna be a lot of election reform come from this. I don't see why we don't have an election for 2 years. Let's wait and see what happens. They may rewrite the whole state thing. So we're gonna be paying Paul's office now, we're gonna pay him again later. Just wait. Nobody's challenging anything right now, so we wait. Spoke to Rusi Patel, the attorney for the GMA. The sky's not falling, there's no big deal. Yeah, you could get challenged, you just have to let them run. There's really no reason other than, as he said, you want everything to comply. That saying, I will just tell y'all up front, I'm not gonna vote for it no matter what we change it to. Because at the end of the day, when our city goes sideways, and there's a bunch of people sitting up here that don't even know the street names and they're running our city, and somebody goes back and does their research, how did that happen? And they go back in the minutes and they see a 5-to-1 vote. Oh, those people did this. The why is never gonna matter why we change it. It's that it changed. And I'm not gonna participate in something that I don't, in my gut and in my heart, believe in. So I won't vote for it no matter what we change it to. But since we're gonna be looking at elections and candidates, 4 years ago when I got elected, I wanted random drug testing for council members. So is there anything that we can look at if we're gonna dig into 21 years to run and things like that? Can we also look at, we expect our employees, all of our employees are subject to drug testing. So I think the people that are writing the legislature that run this city, I think they should be held to the same standard, actually a higher standard than those folks. And so I would like to see if I have any support for random drug testing amongst ourselves, because I'll go right now and use that restroom. I don't have a problem. And I think if you're willing to sit up here and represent the people of Loganville, that you should be willing to hold yourself to the same or a higher standard. So let's also address that conversation.
I have no problem addressing it, except when I take my gummies when my knees are hurting. We can't, I have to have a little advance notice. But other than that, but again, does that mean we get to make a better salary too? Let's address that.
I just think we should hold ourselves to a better or higher standard than we expect our employees to do. How can we sit there and set rules for them and tell them this, that, and the other, and then we sit up here and we're not willing to do the same thing?
I don't have a problem with the drug test. It's not a big deal.
I'm a part of that. I don't have a problem either. I think we should.
So the question before you of candidate eligibility. Now you're asking whether or not your city's drug test policy can apply to elected officials. That is a completely different issue that will have to be addressed and researched. Generally, the answer is no, that elected officials are not subject to the employee drug policies. Could they be made subject to it? I don't know the answer to that. Now you're asking an employment law question that bleeds into the issues of elected official status. That is a completely different standard than whether or not there is a candidate eligibility issue that conflicts between Georgia state law and your charter. Because remember, I think I put this in my email to you. The preference or the default is that all persons are deemed eligible to run for office, subject to the limitations espoused either in state law or in your local ordinances or charter that does not conflict with state law. So if you're asking me whether or not the city council as elected officials can be made subject to the city's employee drug policy, drug testing policy, I don't know the answer to that, but I'd be happy to dig into it and research it for you. But that is not the same as whether or not we're going to change age or residency requirements.
I know, I would just
I
get
think
it
we
in
would
here.
get back on topic to
Yep.
what
I
we're
would just get it in
Seeing
discussing.
that we don't have an election coming up anytime on the horizon, do y'all wanna go ahead and take action on this? Do you wanna wait and, you know?
I think as long as it's done by the next election.
Yeah, that's kinda the way I feel.
Yeah, and my thing is, if you don't like the law, fight to change it.
And that's
And
where I'm
that will
going.
give us time
That's where I'm
to, as
going.
a council, if we don't like this law, I mean, we've got a whole bunch of people we can contact and write and complain, and you never know how that's gonna turn
Right.
out. So I think waiting until it gets closer to the next election.
Yeah, and I'm gonna start working on that.
Or,
Find
well,
it, yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
glad to help you
Okay.
because, you know, I don't think we should ever defy the law. I think we should work to change the law. So why not, Danny's smiling.
I agree with you, don't defy the law.
So, yeah, I mean, we got 2 years, that gives us time, I mean, we might not be able to change it by then, but we can see if we can make it.
Well, we might be able to get some
Listen,
other.
the legislators that I've talked to have no idea that it's a 1 year.
Those people we need to get
Mhm.
involved too, because they're under the same law. They may not have, you know,
You know,
seems to me they would be.
They make their own rules.
Yeah.
Their own rules.
okay, so then I'm gonna, do you mean make a motion, Brim?
What are we agreeing
Then
to,
I'm gonna-
at
I'm gonna
21
make
years
the-
old, and
Well, that we're gonna, he can change the 21 now if you want to, but I'm saying let's just hold the whole thing until closer to the election.
well, it's when they go into session, correct, Paul? So it'd have to go before next year
Well,
with
I mean,
session.
for us as a thing, I mean, I'm just gonna start
Does
working
the
on
charter have
it.
to go before the legislature?
Y'all can, this does not require gold dome change.
Okay.
Y'all can change this by home rule until we had it set up for y'all. What I think I'm hearing, is that y'all don't want to take action now? or-
Correct.
Okay,
Well-
then we won't take action, or maybe there are 4 of you who want to take action now, but I will caution you on this, is it's not 2 years. You're in February, you're at your February meeting. Qualifying for your municipal elections will be August of 2027, so you are at 18 months. You're not at 2 years, you're at a year and a half right now. And don't forget, for me to make these changes, it takes some bit of time prior to. But I will caution you, not changing it, you know, I know there's plenty of cities that don't have it right. Y'all are on notice that it needs to be right. Period, end of story. And so, at the end of the day, we have an executive session this evening that calls for litigation of attorney-client communications. I think it's more appropriate that we finish this conversation in an executive session.
Alright, so it sounds like we need to wait and get a motion for that. Alright, before we go into executive session, I want to open it up for public comment. Does anybody in the room wants to come up? You got 5 minutes. You can say your name and your address, and please let us know what's on your mind. I believe we got Lee coming up.
They can go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Lee Phillips, 4421 Pecan Street. 2 questions. The first is about a street sign, and the second has to do with historical sites in Loganville. A couple years ago, I went to the city here to do some research on events, and through the conversation, I was told that Loganville doesn't have any registered historical landmark sites. Our home is not a Loganville site, it's a Walton County historical landmark site. But Loganville doesn't have anything, and right off the top of my head, I can think of 4 locations that in my mind should be historical sites. One of them is the Rock Gym and the company building that's next to it. The second is the Methodist Church, and the third building is Brandon Whitfield's building on the corner of Pecan Street and Main Street. That building served a very important purpose to Loganville when it was built. That was the farmers' clearinghouse for all the goods that came into Loganville, where they were gathered and sold. And those 3 structures, I think, should have that designation. And also the well, which is the geographical center point of Loganville, should be designated a historical site of Loganville. If we want people to come to Loganville, they're gonna look on the internet to see what we have available. And if they don't even see any historical sites or anything, they're gonna be like, well, what are we gonna go there for? So that's my second thought. My first thought actually was about Pecan Street. We have what I consider East Pecan Street and West Pecan Street, because Main Street is the dividing north-south factor. I would like to see on the east side Pecan Street a street sign that has Historic District, East Pecan Street. I think that would be, it's a small addition to our town, but it's a very important addition to our town because it highlights to the community this section of town is old and it served a purpose and it has value as far as what it can contribute to the community. When the 254 lot gets built up, it's gonna be designed and all hopefully to a facade that is as if it was old, but it will be new. These plans are all in what's gonna be happening, it's gonna be discussed, so facades are the easiest thing in the world to do. You can build a new structure and make it look old to fit the town, and people understand this is new, but man, it looks old, it looks really good. It matches the rest of the town. So that was my 2 ideas, and I think we should have some historical buildings and sites in Loganville, and I think we should have a historical sign on the East Pecan Street of Loganville.
I'd like to address Lee. I sit on the board of the Historical Society, and actually I have presented to them a proposal where we start designating historical landmarks. And that is something that I'm working with the Historical Society to create. You just can't just go out and do that. It's a lot of stuff that goes with it. And all I'm gonna say is
You
that,
gotta have the paperwork
Correct.
that you can show this is why.
well, it's not
this
even
is
that, it's
important.
to create the designations to start with, that you have the authority to do so. And I'm just gonna say this, that there's a lot of changes that'll be coming within the Historical Society over the next year or 2. And I think you'll start seeing some different proactive measures being taken. I don't wanna say much more than that, just out of respect for things, but I agree with you, and you and I can sit down and talk, because that is something that I've already presented to them.
And just so everybody knows, you're gonna see some changes at 4421 Pecan Street coming very soon. If you want to get an inkling of what I'm talking about, you can drive down Main Street and look up to the gable facing the backside of Tacos and Beer, and you'll see a little glimpse of what it's gonna look like. Thank
I
you.
saw the cover on the, over the, scaffolding, I saw that cover.
You can see the gable
Yeah.
with the colors finished out, and hopefully very soon, if I can keep my brother-in-law on the job, we're gonna be unveiling the tarps and taking the scaffolding down, and I think everybody's gonna like it.
That's good to hear, Lee. Thank you, it's good to hear. All right. We had Linda and Kathy wanting to get up. Kathy's coming first.
Kathy Swanson, 904 Lee Bird Road. Annie, did we get a price on a 10-unit porta potty? A 10-unit?
I did not get a price.
I was wondering if they were cheaper by the dozen. Well, I was thinking if we're gonna need
It was,
them,
a little before it was 100,000. For a 10 unit, was, I believe it was 90 or 100,000.
Okay, so it's basically still the same price, you don't get a discount for bigger, more units. Okay, that was it, thanks.
Thank you, Kathy. Linda?
Hi, I'm Linda Dodd. I live at 993 Granite Lane, Loganville, Georgia. The only comment I want to make about the porta potties is, I think it's a great idea, but sending people across 20 at night when it's dark and no police out there to guide these people across the street to the library, which they're gonna be able to see, there's not gonna be public path. But I'm just thinking, how many of these people that have got young children that need to go to the bathroom and they know, I gotta go, want to walk across a busy highway. We don't shut that highway down here in Christmas. Or, you know, we do during the fall festival, but we don't during concerts. So that's just my thing. I think it's a safety issue for us to depend. I mean, I think the library that's gonna have the bathrooms there is wonderful, and I think we need to use them. We also need to be thinking practical, so I think for safety's sake, the porta potties would be added thing for us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Linda. All right, anybody else? I don't see any. We can make that motion to go into executive session. I got a motion by Lisa. Give me a second.
Second.
Second by Keith. All in favor, say aye. All right. Thank y'all for coming, everybody. I know a lot of y'all probably aren't gonna stay till after but thank y'all for coming.
All right, everybody, we're going to keep hanging out here until they get back from their session.
I just told her, she just wants to meet, so we can tell her face to face.
I'm going to swing the camera around here and give y'all a look at our chief of police, Chief Dick Lowry.
Not your ears, not your ears. I'm just laughing because you kept guessing your names and I was killing you.
Take a look at some of our other city employees here. Got our back wall of Loganville mayors. Let's go back here and take a look at the wall.
She'll probably be here, no, her, she'll probably be here like 9 o'clock. As soon as I know.
That's when I feel like, oh,
Because they had moved that building 6 feet, 78 feet. They could not deal with it.
All right, and that's our Loganville mayors.
Yes, but that's why they tell you, you gotta go in there and ask for the side finger from the room. You know what I'm saying? The fish, but I ain't talking about my stuff. In the last 2 months, I've been in the courthouse. Basically, you pay them money. You give them some money, everything's okay.
I just don't know how that works.
You can't get them.
You ain't get shot.
Look, we're going to found the building. Still can't use it. We're going to have to study like this. And they want to drive in. It might like here winds. You top so beautiful. On your mind, so I took this pole with it, you know. Fish in the ocean. Well, let's see if it stays on this time. Having a problem with my memory. I gotta download and clear out my phone tomorrow. Hopefully I freed up enough space to make the rest of this video. Athens, Georgia. You have to get measurements and you can send them a message and see if they still got them, which they're not listed as sold on here. And then there's a couple of different. Right there. So you got yours at 16?
I think so.
Let's see if I got I thought I had a couple more, but they might have sold them and I might have. But I see them all the time.
I don't know, see, well, one thing's good about
Well, if you go to Marketplace, that was my save. But when you're on regular Marketplace, go to
Slur speech.
more,
It's the same reason.
and you get all these listings right here that you can pick from. Miscellaneous. Home improvement.
Reports of general found mandatory drug testing of elected officials is unconstitutional because it violates the Fourth Amendment against unreasonable search and seizure. Now, city council members can make a volunteer to submit to drug tests.
Or
this is all done to show transparency or responsibility.
Antique windows. Oh, yeah.
I will stand up to
Search
search
antique windows, and it'll come up and show you all the, look at that, yeah. Anything you need, right there, man.
Just give me a few days. It takes a little bit longer now. It's all right.
Those are 6 things.
Yes, you're right.
That's 6 things.
The hair test goes back 10 or 12 years.
Basically, you just gotta know what your medications are.
Yeah, I got football.
Yeah.
No.
Once you cut it, that hair's gone. They shave it. Now,
But I mean, but that's also,
the top one and the bottom one.
I just know that it's, it goes.
It's two separate pieces.
They're generally the same.
I just always assumed
Because the old folks kept it simple.
Yeah, of course.
They made everything a repetition.
Way
Kept
up,
it the
90
same.
days.
So that way,
But that's based on a,
that way everything they did was
so
always.
it's a standard 1.5 inch search on a sample. So you
They
gotta have
had
this
production before production lines were because they would make their jig and whatever size they wanted.
Hair test.
The way they framed it in and they had their jig, they had the frames on.
Test case.
They would stick the frames right at the bottom.
It looks like you just set it up in there. What
3 inches or-
what is
Sorry, the sample tape is 3 inches.
Well, old houses, old things,
The hair tests are not like this, but it's recent, same day.
generally paint fills the gap, and that's what makes it hard to.
Yeah, see, like my windows, if it rains, it don't rain.
Here's your info.
Head
hair is not
A lot of the
hair.
it rains.
Well, they said armpit or face.
I'm sure they did.
Yes.
It takes-
It all grows, that's
So you
right.
have- Because body hair grows in different rates.
see like my back, just open my back door, open my front door or something like that. Come and see that. I mean, it's a good breeze. I believe that.
Our house was designed for air to come in through the bottom and go up through the bars and out through the top. It originally had cedar shingles on the roof, so having a roof like that allowed the heat to dissipate more. And that was good in the hot summer, sweltering summertime here, you know, for AC, that you either designed your home to function like a machine and keep it cool and help hold the heat in the winter.
On it. That's what I was about to say, so basically you can't come.
Fireplaces that you like to see in homes and stuff, they were small fireplaces, and cold fireplaces required you to be small because cold threw out a lot more heat.
Still in here.
And so, this fireplace.
Yeah.
Like outdoors, but.
But it was, it's still.
Right.
Basically, they had.
The next day, a few days later.
You get up in the morning.
You get it.
You put your clothes.
It's not like.
The next day. But as long as you're laying in bed, you're gonna freeze to death. All right, folks, they're coming back.
You want a copy of the audit? She gave you the bill. Get it in, street.
I'll get it. Dan? Yeah, 'cause I was gonna read that. I gotta think about it.
She just signed up on it.
All right, everybody, thanks for those who sat around. You must be glutton for punishment. Do I need a motion to go back into regular session?
So moved.
No, yeah, you already went back into regular session.
Okay, so we're back in regular session.
No action to be taken.
No action to be
Executive
taken.
Session, just need a motion to adjourn unless anybody else wants to do something.
Alright, so I'll take a motion to adjourn. I'll give it to Patty this time. Second by Lisa. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, folks, and that concludes the evening here at the council chambers. That's the way politics go. You wait around for nothing. But that's all right. We have fun being involved. Folks, y'all remember, be safe out there. Be good to one another. Do something kind for someone. And y'all have a blessed day.